Welcome to today's video. Have you ever wondered what is Buddhism? This question may sound simple, yet it holds profound and complex layers of meaning. Is Buddhism a traditional religion, a philosophical way of thinking, or a path to find peace and joy? Each person may have a different understanding, and you may have also questioned it when you first encountered Buddhism. In today's video, we'll dive into this question, explore the core values of Buddhism, and see how they can be applied in our everyday lives. Buddhism, religion or philosophy? If you've ever visited a Buddhist temple, you might have seen the serene statues of the Buddha, incense smoke wafting in the air, and offerings laid at the altar. For many, Buddhism is seen as a religion, with prayer rituals, offerings, and symbols of reverence to Buddha as a revered figure. This aspect of Buddhism often gives it a strong resemblance to traditional religions, offering people comfort and tranquility. These visible rituals often lead people to think of Buddhism as just a religion. However, when we delve deeper into the teachings of the Buddha, we find that Buddhism extends far beyond rituals and offerings. Buddhism also carries a profound philosophical system, encouraging us to confront and understand the true nature of existence. Buddhist philosophy centers on concepts like impermanence, causality, and the nature of suffering, all aimed at answering humanity's deepest questions. Why do we suffer? What is the meaning of life? How can we attain true happiness? These are deep philosophical issues that require contemplation and personal experience. Buddhism, a practical path for a peaceful life. Despite having aspects of religion and philosophy, Buddhism is more than that. It is a practical path that helps individuals find peace in life. Simply reading about impermanence or suffering isn't enough to truly understand what the Buddha taught. Buddhism encourages us to apply these teachings in everyday life, whether through cultivating virtues, developing compassion, or practicing mindfulness in our actions. The Four Noble Truths, the core of Buddhist teachings. Now, to truly understand Buddhism, we need to explore one of its foundational teachings, the Four Noble Truths. This is the heart of Buddhism and the answer to the question, what is Buddhism? The Buddha taught that life is full of suffering. From physical pain to mental anguish, we constantly face different types of suffering. Sometimes, suffering isn't only about obvious pain, but also subtle dissatisfaction, a sense of incompleteness. For instance, even when we achieve everything we want, a lingering discontent often remains. Recognizing this suffering is the first step to liberation. Samudaya, cause of suffering. Why do we suffer? The main cause is our endless desires and cravings. We constantly seek what we don't have, clinging to things that are fleeting. For example, if we deeply desire wealth or fame, we easily fall into worry and anxiety about losing them. The Buddha taught that craving is the root of all suffering. Nirodha, cessation of suffering. Suffering can end if we let go of attachment. When we stop clinging to impermanent things, we find freedom and peace. The Buddha explained that by truly understanding and accepting impermanence, we can step out of the cycle of suffering and attain tranquility. Magga, the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Finally, the path to liberation is known as the Noble Eightfold Path. These are 8 practices that help us develop wisdom, morality, and mental discipline. From right view to right mindfulness, the Eightfold Path guides us step by step toward enlightenment and freedom. A real-life story, finding peace through the Four Noble Truths. Let me share a real-life story from a friend who applied the Four Noble Truths in his own life. This friend was a successful entrepreneur, wealthy and respected. Yet despite his accomplishments, he felt empty inside. He had everything, yet lacked genuine happiness. One day, he was advised to learn about Buddhism and started practicing the Four Noble Truths. Gradually, he realized that his constant cravings and attachment to material things were the true sources of his suffering. As he began to let go and practice mindfulness, he found a peace he had never known before. From someone always chasing status and wealth, he transformed into a person who found happiness in each simple moment, no longer bound by the transient nature of things. Conclusion: Buddhism and the journey to self-discovery. Buddhism is not only a religion or a philosophy, but also a path to self-discovery and inner peace. The Four Noble Truths don't just teach us about suffering and its causes, they are also practical tools for freeing ourselves from life's burdens. By applying the Four Noble Truths in our lives, we can live a life of simplicity and peace, no matter what challenges we face. So when asked, what is Buddhism? The answer might vary from person to person, but the key is to practice and experience it for yourself. Hopefully, through this video, you'll find some inspiration to begin your journey of self-discovery and inner peace. Thank you for watching, and may you always carry peace and happiness on your path to understanding.